Chapter. We're talking real money.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. I'm Tom, are you under that pile of paper? Tom. Oh my God, he's buried in questions. There's so many of them. Tom, dig your way out of that.
I feel better. Get that weight off me.
Man.
A lot
We
of
better,
trees.
I think, I forget about today's topic. We're skipping it altogether.
What? No, I had some good stuff.
No, we don't
Okay.
know. It's
All
not
right.
important. No, because we need to unbury you. I can see that you can hardly move.
I can barely hold
You're
this
stuck.
up.
He's stuck in the studio for life if we don't go through this pile of questions that you all have sent in, and he insists on printing out. Now, the pile would not be deep if he wasn't a Luddite and insisted on getting them in paper as opposed to reading them on a screen like the rest of the world does.
I know, and I got to run home and get my Wall Street Journal that's printed as well.
Do you know the president? This is funny. Okay, before we go to the questions, the president of the new president, the old president, the new old president, he has a person literally who follows him around. They call her the human printer, and she has a wireless printer in her backpack. And whenever there's a story about him, she prints it out and hands it to him on paper.
I have that. I love that. I'm going to do the same thing here.
You're going to have a member of the staff carry
follow
around
me
the
around.
printer?
I'll say, print that.
I don't want to read that on my iPhone. That screen's too damn small for my old eyes.
I did read that Christopher Walken says he has no technology. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a computer.
No,
Zero.
Christopher Walken. I'm watching him again in Severance.
That was too scary for me. I watched this one season and decided that was enough. It's
Severance
too weird.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's off the charts weird.
Danielle's watching it. She's going to keep going. But
I like it because I guess that says something about me.
I'll go back and watch Anchorman again or something instead.
And then I'm also watching brutal American Primeval.
Yeah, we watched the first one of that. We are going to watch that series. That's hard to watch.
Datton's hard to watch.
And I don't know how true. I know there was a massacre, but I don't know how accurate all that is.
It's one of those stories that's based on true stories, but it's
there were people
here
in Utah that period of time.
Yeah, there were Mormons killing pioneers in Utah during that time.
That's Native Americans. They killed.
Well,
they killed a lot of Native Americans too. Yeah,
right. And the Native Americans killed white people, and white people killed Native Americans. And
read Under the Banner of Heaven. I think that was the book. So,
but if you look back if you know anything about history, you know we're a vile, violent species.
You watch this,
really
you won't feel better about yourself. Trust me.
No. Well, I think you'll feel better about the modern version of yourself, maybe.
Well,
because
I hope so. But
I would. I do not wax nostalgic for living in the past.
I wouldn't. No. 19th century? No way. Wouldn't have been
18th, 17th, 16th, 14th, 13th, 12th.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with.
Let's just say none of those.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I'm
indoor plumbing.
I was just going to say.
I mean, come on.
Just going to say. I love living in the land of toilet paper. That's all I can think about when I watch these things. I go, thank God for toilet paper.
Yeah, true enough. So
sorry.
There's a lot of toilet paper. And there's a lot of paper.
And Tom has a whole pile of future toilet paper right there between his nicotine stained.
We have actual 2-ply or something.
When you recycle it.
Oh, I see. I hope I don't find this question
you won't
in the wrong
recycle
place.
It. It'll go in the paper.
No, I do recycle. I do that.
Okay,
I give you
that.
Proud
of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to read questions?
We do the food waste thing too. That gets wherever that goes. That goes into.
It goes sure.
Into something,
and then the trash pickup guys
they
just
put it
throw
somewhere.
it in the landfill. Yeah,
but they make you feel better.
When it's all done, they just throw it all in the landfill.
What do they think they're doing? We still charge them.
You look at it and they're like sorting it, and you go, and then they crush it into the one bin in the middle.
And then see you later. Yeah. It's put in a large barge and sent to China. So
this is the show of transgression. If it wasn't for trash, Florida wouldn't have any mountains. So.
Well, because you'd have the sinkholes. You'd have all
Honest
those.
To God, no, we have mountains now because of piles of trash. They're the only ones we have, really.
The first ever man-made mountain I ever saw was outside Munich, Germany, where they told us that was all the rubble from World War II when I went there.
Ooh, I bet that was a lot of rubble.
Yeah, it was a lot. Big, huge.
Yeah, it's going to be like Mount Gaza.
It's large. All right, we're going to get to these.
No, because we're
okay. That's that.
We're just going tangential,
waxing nostalgic about anything.
All right, go ahead. Question number 1.
Yeah, here we go. Gregory, from Fruit Heights, Utah, the aforementioned Utah. Asking for a friend. Sure.
Oh, sure.
48 years old.
That's what we all say.
48 years old, 1.2 million in 401k and 100k in Roth. Conservative expectations, 8 to 5% returns. Has a very large amount of 401k at age 70, along with expected other sources. Social Security and investments will almost assuredly place them in a high tax bracket in the future. You can see where we're headed there. Because of this, it seems pointless to continue putting their portion in pre-tax 401k. Does it make sense to max out the Roth 401k while the company match profit sharing still goes into the normal 401k? In other words, because my income will be higher in retirement. That's what he's saying.
Okay. Well, I believe him.
Should I be putting more money, taking the tax break, not taking the tax break today, putting it in Roth and letting it grow tax free, which does two things, because you take it out tax free and you it's not going to impact your income.
It gives you a longer term pool from which to derive growth too.
Yep.
And given that you have so much in the pre-tax regular old retirement account and not as much in Roth, I see nothing wrong with building up the quantity in the Roth without paying any new taxes. You're going to forego the tax break you get, but I think that benefit, giving you more diversification and withdrawal options, is what I see this as, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And again, nobody knows what the future of taxation is going to be. So for younger people, I love Roth, especially if they're in a lower bracket. Then when you get in a higher bracket, maybe you could split it, do some in both, because again, that gives you options as you get older to take the money out. But in this case,
remember, when you get a current tax break, although in this case it doesn't make as much difference because of the time factor. When you're younger and you're a high earner, that pre-tax may be advantageous to you, because remember, about 25% more money is going to go into your retirement account.
That's
because of the fact that you're not giving that to the government. You're allowed to invest that before you have to give it back to the government someday.
Hadn't thought of that angle, which is a good one. Yeah. Okay. So I think your thinking is correct there. So good one. From Virginia Beach, Virginia, Travis writes, the wife and I'm going to let you say that, Travis, who are in our late 30s, are maxing out. Isn't that kind of derogatory? Our Roth 401ks and Roth IRAs through
as long as she can say the husband, I think it's fine.
Right. Okay, we're okay then. Currently in the 24%. So remember, maxing out Roth 401k and Roth IRA, Roth IRA through the back door. Currently using the 24% tax bracket and Virginia's income tax at 5.75.
Yes, that was one of the things I didn't like about Virginia, was that state income tax.
Yeah, which is still lower than some on this coast, but that's fairly a lot. Based on our trajectory, we're looking at being in the 32% tax bracket when retired. Now, that I do not understand when you tell me that, Travis, especially if you're in your late 30s. Who knows what the brackets will look like in 25 years? There's no way to game that, but to say that you're going to be in a higher bracket in retirement, I'd have to ask why.
My guess is that he's extrapolating out his savings rate and continuing that, and then adding a particular growth rate on top of that, looking at what the total value of the portfolio is and how much income he'll be able to draw off of that, and then using current brackets to...
But remember, the draw will be coming out post-tax, because he's doing everything in Roth 401ks and Roth IRAs. So it's not going to bounce. His income will not bounce up because he'd have to take RMDs, et cetera.
So he doesn't have any other assets other than the Roth.
Doesn't mention them. Oh, no, he does. Wait, here at the bottom, he says our account's currently 40% Roth and 60% traditional.
Okay, so it's the 60 traditional that I'm thinking he's extrapolating out.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. This is very similar to the previous question.
Thing.
Yeah, we don't know.
Do both.
He says maxing out Roth 401k. I probably, if I was in the 24% tax bracket, I'd want to take some of that deduction today. Mm-hmm. And so I'd probably do a little bit of both of those.
And it's 30 almost.
Right.
With
30%
the state.
that
so
goes,
it's almost
as you
30.
correctly point out, that goes right back into into your account. I love that.
Right. You get to make money on that 30%. So.
Yeah, good answer. Frank from Fontana, California says, I have a full-time and part-time job. At my full-time job, I have a full family medical coverage. At my second job,
there are way too many F's in this question for your mouth. It's just not working.
I'm feeling
We're getting
bad
a lot
for
of
myself. Something. And at my second job, writes Frank, I'd like to open an HSA with a single HDH plan. Is this IRS approved? In other words, having two HSAs. Yeah, the answer is yes. You can have two HSAs. I looked it up. But you cannot exceed the IRS max.
In total.
Yes. I don't know, which I don't remember what it is, although I think maybe I'm doing that today because I looked at that like just another place to save that will have that triple tax benefit. So yeah, I think you could do both of those. I don't know what a single HDH plan is. Don probably HD.
Anyway. I was just looking up the contributions.
Yeah, but I did look it up, and you can have two HSAs at the same time, but you cannot go above the total amount you can put in an HSA.
Yeah, I'm going to look up an HD. The HSA contribution limit for a family this year is $8,550.
$8,550.
Yes.
Okay.
HDH.
Which I love that HSA. I'll tell you why. I'm saving all the receipts from medical stuff. I get them all in a file. And then when I start to pull that money out of the HSA, that'll be tax-free income.
It's a high deductible health plan that goes with the HSA.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. So the short answer is
I thought it was something I'd never heard of, but no, it's a high deductible plan.
You can do that. So a lot of technical questions lately. Like, what about
I know.
Which are hard because, we don't know every rule. We don't know every codicil, as I think we said on a recent. It's not easy to. Anyway, Brian writes us from Evans, Georgia.
We'd have to have a whole big staff back there that would cost several $100,000 a year, and we just don't have the budget for that.
Well, and there is a guy on the staff that does the tax thing every year, which every once in a while I print it out and have it here because I get these weird tax questions about how much, blah, blah, and he does that, and I should have that here, but I misplaced it. All right, Brian writes, a Secure 2.0 originally mandated that beginning in 2025, which is what we're in now, all catch-up contributions for over 50 participants, over age 50, in various employer-sponsored retirement plans be specifically dedicated to Roth accounts. In other words,
that
was for higher earners, I think above 150 or something. But my understanding is there's been a policy revision for a 2-year grace period until 2027 to allow institutions to prepare for this change administratively. Is this correct? I believe it takes place next year, 2026, that will require higher earners to take the catch-up to put that into a Roth. In other words, the money above the 24.5, I think it is today. Is it another?
I think this is a proposed.
No, it's on.
No,
the books.
I mean, no. The change.
The as he said the
grace period.
Grace period. Okay, because I thought that they'd said starting they pushed it out because it was supposed to be this year that you were going to make this do that, but I thought it was next year that they're going to make you do that. So don't know right now. As I said, I thought I read 2026. It's going to be in effect, but.
Yeah, because what I'm reading right here from the IRS is that they have issued proposed changes to the Roth catch-up rule.
Is anybody still working at the IRS? Because I thought they all took the early payout and just bolted. No?
There's something about 2027 that I think may have confused.
Well, he says until 2027. I believe it's until 2026. I think under current regulations that you'll have to do this in 2026. In other words, the catch-up will have to go post-tax. So
I'm not sure. I'm reading 2027 a few places. I don't know that it's not 2025.
No, it's not this year.
It's not 2025.
I thought I read 2026 is when it's going to start. So, but you're right. That could change again because the way these things get rolled out, they may say, nah, it's too hard to do it that way. So we'll wait till 2027. But I think eventually it's going to happen.
I think it's 2027 because I think that they're allowing it for 25 and 26. It looks like.
All right.
That's what I'm seeing. But again, This is not directly from the IRS. The only thing I could find directly from the IRS is that there are proposed changes. So
and I could say unequivocally, you don't have to do anything this year, 2025.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may have to do something in 2026. All right.
Yes. Kiplinger's is saying you can do it as is for 26 and 25 and 26.
Okay, so he would be right under that circumstance. He would say that because he said until 2027. All right, Jason from Tucson, Arizona. Oh, Tucson, pardon me. Writes, AVGE is a fund of fun, which includes AVUV inside of it. And the current cost of AVGE is $73.39. Since AVGE...
Wait, is this that's the per share price?
Let me finish, is 25% cheaper. Wouldn't it make more sense to buy AVGE to get AVUV at a lower cost and get all the other funds as a bonus on top?
Okay, this is going to require a little primer on
it's kind of
share
complicated
value. And this share value primer applies to stocks, it applies to ETFs, it applies to pretty much anything that's publicly traded. The price is utterly meaningless.
Other than
totally
the number of shares
meaningless.
you can buy, of course.
Yeah, but no, the price per share means nothing. If you have a security that today is $100 a share and they split it 10 for 1 tomorrow, you now have $10 shares, but you have 10 of them. You still have the same amount of money. 100 shares, $100 a share. You have one share at $100. It's worth $100. You have 10 shares at $10. They're worth $10. The reason the prices of ETFs are different is because they started at different times.
Yeah.
They start at $10 a share.
Mm-hmm.
When they come out, and let's just look back at AVUV
and AVGE, which is the Global Equity Fund, which takes in, as he said, all of these various funds.
Oh, it looks like AVUV came out at $50 a share.
Okay.
And AVGE came out at, let's go way back in time.
How long has that been around?
It looks like it came out at $50 a share.
Ah, okay.
Okay, but here's the thing. AVGE started in September of 2022. AVUV
probably a couple of years before that.
Started. Well, but then the other thing is they move at different rates, so they don't grow at the same pace over time, so their values are not going to anywhere near match up. And let's go back to how long ago? Oh, no, AVUV started in 2019. So it's gone from $50 a share to $99 a share.
Yep.
And
been a great fund.
What's AVGE's price currently?
He says $73.39.
Right, but it started later.
Yeah. So it's not really, but the point is, okay, this is overthinking things.
It doesn't, the price per share is meaningless.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Meaningless. What you're doing, basically, is you're buying a dollar amount. You say, I want $1,000 worth of this. Your broker will buy you however many shares it takes to get to that $1,000. There you go.
Thank you. Good answer.
It's still going to be $1,000. Doesn't matter.
From Enumclaw, Washington, Jordan writes us, hi, Tom and Don. My wife and I currently have Roth IRAs, $96,000, and brokerage accounts, $65,000, with Acorns. Upon inquiring, I was told by Acorns that they will not allow me to have both a Roth IRA and traditional IRA at the same time. I was told I need to liquidate and convert my Roth to a traditional IRA. Okay, you wouldn't want to do that because that would be taking post-tax money, and I don't even know you could do that. In order to open the traditional IRA, it goes through a whole bunch of details. I looked this up, and it does appear that Acorns will allow you to have both. Would it be weird if they didn't?
Yeah, that's what strikes me as strange.
IRA and a Roth IRA. It doesn't make any sense why they would. It may have had something to do with when you started talking to them about transferring, because he gets into a lengthy discussion of you'd be required to liquidate the Roth before transferring the account because Acorns will not transfer ETFs from their IRAs to another IRA. Anyway, so
they won't transfer in kind.
They might not do that, but they can certainly. You can certainly have both types of accounts set up there at Acorns, which is something that we like. Now, it also may have to do with the fact that Acorns is the distributions that you're making into it, the contributions rather. There may be some complexity there because remember that's hooked up to your bank account. It's a rounding service. They take a certain number off each transaction. Maybe they're saying it'd be hard to have different ones go in different accounts. I don't know the specifics, but I did look up again, Jordan, and it does appear from what I could read that Acorns will allow both a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA for the same person at their custodianship.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. It looks like you may want to chat with someone else. I don't think you get to actually talk to people at Acorns.
You don't hear that much about them anymore, but I like the service. I think it's a good one.
It's a great way for someone to get started as an investor with just your change.
Yeah,
literally,
because it's
just your change.
It does the thing that half of us have trouble doing, and that is saving something. Right. People always want to talk about investing. Well, you got to do the first part is putting it aside, and there's an easy way to put it aside. All right. Final question.
Is this the final one?
Comes from
he's still covered in them. Look,
Champ Kind in Portland, Oregon. Okay, Champ Kind, also from Anchorman.
Is this the same guy as the previous podcast?
So, thank you for that.
All right.
You don't need to come up with the Anchorman. Are we going to get Ron Burgundy next week? I mean,
no, he's too
Ron
obvious.
Burgundy? Okay,
that one's too obvious.
That would be like, oh, I know who that is. Yeah. My aunt has a 401k worth $350,000. She plans to retire in 4 years at age 70. At that point, she will claim Social Security and have a paid-off house. What, you writing to brag? She plans to use her 401k for yearly vacations. I suggested she use the 5% variable withdrawal. Now, that is taking 5% of the portfolio value every year, and he says you have recommended. My question, if a 5% variable withdrawal rate works while using an advisor that we would pay 1%, doesn't that mean she could withdraw 6% if she managed it on her own? In other words, if you're not paying somebody 1%, can you take out more of the portfolio? Yeah.
I guess.
But it...
okay. But here's the...
the numbers work. Sure.
The numbers work. Yeah. But bear in mind, one of the reasons you're paying an advisor 1% is for that potential of the extra return that has been implied through multiple studies, one very famous one from Vanguard, that advisors provided. So let's say you manage it, but you don't do as well as an advisor. Maybe then she can only take 4% out. I mean, it doesn't just follow naturally.
And it's not just the plan. It's not just the portfolio. It's the staying on the straight and narrow. That's the biggest part of that study, if I remember correctly.
That was the 1.5% of the 3% advantage that Vanguard found in annual returns that was attributable to advisors. Having a financial advisor who's a fiduciary was due to behavioral
and we know
issues.
Having talked to many of you for 30 plus years, in Don's case, 80 years, whatever it is, 500 years, that is bigger than you make it out to be. Right now, everybody feels great because the stock markets have been good the last couple of years. So nothing bad ever happens. Well, except NVIDIA losing $600 billion in one day. But other than that, nothing bad ever happens. So, but it does. And your life will change and all those things. That's the part the advisor could do. So can you take out more if you're not paying somebody else? Sure. But will you be able to do that? That's a whole different topic.
Right. And the reality is individuals tend to forget to do things like, well, for example, properly diversifying in the first place.
And most people are not. I just looked this up the other day. It's still almost 90% of money invested in the U.S. in the S&P 500.
And then the other, we hear it to this day. Well, I'm not going to rebalance this year because I don't want to sell all those great stocks that I own and buy those boring bonds. I just can't do it.
No, and I don't want to trade in.
So you don't build the right portfolio.
Yeah.
You allow your emotions to control what should be disciplined investing decisions. Discipline is the single hardest thing to have as an investor.
As a human being.
Yeah, because your gut and your friends and those that you think you can trust are telling you the exact opposite of what the discipline is telling you must do.
And Kevin.
Kevin,
and everybody else
definitely is not disciplined.
But they're yelling it from the rooftop.
We talked about him. The
500 million people. I mean, so yeah, sure, you can take out more if your expenses are lower, but will you be able to manage it? There's a whole lot of other things that go along with that. But that's a good question.
It is.
Yeah,
and we, I think, answered it.
Yeah, we do. I mean, do we believe in a variable withdrawal as a better approach? Yeah, because the money should last longer.
Right, because you're not taking out a fixed amount in a bad year.
Yeah.
As Tom liked to say at various conferences, it's the difference between going to Hawaii in a great year and vacationing with the family at the local water park.
Yeah. And I'm going to thank you for reminding me. I'm going to use that joke again. I appreciate you bringing that up.
I know you will.
Write that into the notes.
I know you will.
Thank you so much.
I know you will. There's not a new idea in that noggin. Not one. I swear. It's a sad it's a sad situation when you really get into a deep conversation with Tom.
It's still the same three things.
It's the same. Yeah. Feed me.
You talked about the discipline, right?
Yeah.
Missing the discipline. Yeah, I get it.
So anything you want to share with our lovely listeners before we depart? I
want to say, the greatest joy in my non-advancing noggin is
food.
Is talking to you. I love that.
Really?
I do. I know I do. I truly do. So I have a little time now again.
Tommy loves you.
Yeah. Now that retirement is in the rear view mirror, thank goodness, I can talk to some more
listeners sitting in a tree.
So if you want some help not just from me, if you say, I'd rather talk to somebody else, you simply go to, I think it's Talking Real Money, and because some guy wrote me a nasty gram. He doesn't even know what page to go to. You just go to the website, you click on Contact Us.
What's the website?
It's talkingrealmoney.com. That I do know.
Good.
And then you just click on Contact Us. So thank you for your kind words.
Or you can can click on Meet an Advisor.
Meet an Advisor, either one.
And set up an appointment to meet an advisor.
Don't confuse me, because that takes one of the ones. I only have 3 things I can remember. You just interrupted, and now I'm down to
all right.
2. So I'd love to chat with you about your situation. Feel free.
Go clear your head.
All right. It won't take long. It's only 3 things.
Dig yourself out of the pile of questions and go clear your head.
I'm going to burn them. So.
All right. Thank you all for being with us. We so appreciate you. I mean, I don't appreciate you as much as Tom does, apparently, but I still do. And if you do like what you hear, we love it when you tell people to listen, because we want to have as many viewers as, referring to an old podcast, Meet Kevin. Not viewers, listeners. We used to do viewers.
I know, we did.
We did, and we had like 500 people who would watch.
I know.
And it was like, why are we doing this?
No, it's silly. Very silly.
500 people.
No. I still put the tie on, but we do it on this anyway. So
you wear a tie to bed.
I get the pajamas with the tie on it.
He does. Yeah. He has the pajamas with ties on them because, you got to keep that neck covered. All right, folks, thanks for being there. Have a great one. We love it when you join us as we are talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.